Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. I have another guest with me today. I have Anna here, and we are going to talk about the importance of building a business, especially with the world as it is in this time. So, Anna, introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. So I am Anna McKenna. I am a mom, a wife, a veteran, a business owner. I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur. I am retiring from the Army in July. Um,
Mhm.
and I've really focused recently with my upcoming retirement on helping women, just given the state of the world and given the state of our nation here in the States. I've really been working on developing my passion for helping women build businesses because, I have just felt strongly about it, just kind of given everything that's been going on. I've owned a multitude of businesses, dance studio, retail stores, commercial and residential real estate, online businesses. I've built a YouTube channel. I'm kind of into a little bit of everything. And so now my job is to help other women do that too.
Yes, and that's why I was so excited to talk to you about this because, like, you have so much experience doing this and you have built so many businesses and like real business. This isn't
Yeah.
like the magical, like, oh, let's build a business and it just happens overnight bullshit that we hear about so much online. Like, you have done this. And I want to also talk to you about what it was like because you were also in the army. Like, how was that? Like, that just sounds
Yeah.
crazy to me, but talk about
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah, kind of going back. I kind of fell into the army going back into college. I came from a family, a large family, didn't have a lot of money for school. When I started school in upstate New York, my friend got me into ROTC, and then the army was like, "Hey, we'll pay for your education, we'll pay for all of your books, we'll pay for all of it, and all you have to do is go into the army." And so I was like, "Okay, fuck it. Like, we'll just do this for a couple years, and I'll get my education paid for." And I just stayed over the years, and I learned a lot.
Mhm.
Shortly after I joined the Army, 9/11 happened. I deployed to Iraq. I've done several deployments, and it was really on my first deployment when I was in Iraq that I started thinking about the idea for my first business, which was a dance studio. And I had trained in dance my whole life, which is kind of funny that I had ended up going into the army because I thought I was going to live a much more glamorous life. That didn't quite work out.
Yeah.
But I just saw a lot of pain and suffering in Iraq, and I came back with a lot of PTSD and a lot of
Mhm.
issues. And I was like, where can I channel this? And I really wanted to spend time with kids. So I started my dance studio when I got home. I taught every single class. I did all the marketing, operations, customer service, teaching all the classes. I worked every day. And that was after I did my regular job in the Army. So I really began my business by working it as a side hustle. And then once I figured out how to do that, because I realized pretty early on that I had a lot of different passions, and like most creatives, we're like, we just want to do everything.
Yeah.
And I figured out that I had to build some tools and systems for me to be able to do all the things that I wanted to do. And so when opportunities presented themselves, like purchasing a store, purchasing commercial real estate, I had already built systems that allowed me to kind of explore other business opportunities. And it just kind of grew from there. And I guess I've always just looked at opportunities like, all right, let's just try it and see what happens.
Mhm. And it sounds crazy to me that you like built out an entire dance studio like as a side hustle because that's a huge undertaking. Like, it's not like that's not a side hustle. That's like a big thing. And you're like, yeah,
I was young.
I just did it on the side. Like, that's not a side hustle.
Yeah, I guess not in retrospect. But I was
Yeah.
young. I mean, I wasn't pushing 50 back then. I was
Yeah.
young, had a lot of energy, and I didn't have any children. And
Yeah.
so it was really my dance studio was because I didn't really plan on staying in the army. And I was like, this
Yeah.
will be my gig when I'm done. And then the army just kind of kept going for me. And so I really was like, oh shit, I better figure out like how to do this so I'm not the one doing all the things. And now I moved from basically a one-room schoolhouse 20 years ago to like a 10,000 square foot building. I have a staff of 13 people. I don't really teach that much anymore, which is good because I'm like not as cool as the younger teachers anymore. And
Yeah.
I get to work on the parts of the business that I love and also shift more toward teaching other people how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, which is so good. And like that just shows all of the expertise that you have and why like what you're doing now makes sense. Like obviously because you've done all of this. So how did like what is the story behind like the real estate stuff and the other stores? Like I know nothing about that. I didn't know about that stuff. I knew the dance studio, but I didn't know about the other stuff.
Yeah, so crazily enough, I was sitting at a coffee shop in my town and I was sitting at this little table and I was looking out across the street and I was like, that's such a cute store. It was a hardware store. It's been around for 100 years. And I was like, what are they doing over there? Like it looked like it needed a little bit of work. I was looking upstairs, like from where I was sitting, and I was like, what is that? So I Googled it right there at the coffee shop and it was for sale. And I was like, I'm just going to
But
buy that.
oh my God.
And so
Of
I
course, because like
bought,
why wouldn't you?
like, why wouldn't I? And I was like, this will be cool. I'll renovate the apartments upstairs. It'll be some apartments that we need in our town because housing, as you know, in New England and in particular in our country is, hard to come by. And I'm like, I'm just gonna renovate those apartments. My parents were retiring, and I was like, I'll just let them work in the hardware store. My dad will love it. But then
Yeah.
COVID happened. And
Oh yeah.
so I had purchased this store, I had purchased the building, and I had purchased the lot next to it. And I was like very quickly realizing that we were very successful in it, but it wasn't my passion. And
Mhm.
so in 2023, I ended up selling it and um, over doubling what I had purchased it for. So it was a good business decision. And it was just kind of one of those things. And the same thing with my YouTube channel. When I had started a weight loss journey, utilizing Ozempic before Ozempic was everywhere. I think I was doing it even before the Kardashians were doing it. But I was like, you know what? I don't know how to inject myself, and I bet other
Yeah.
people don't either. And so I'm just going to make a video and put it on YouTube, and whoever needs to figure that out will at least see my video of how I'm doing it, and hopefully it'll be right. And then my channel like started rapidly getting downloads, and then I ended up, I think I'm at like, I don't know, 15 or 16,000 subscribers now. So I've been able to monetize my channel, and
Yeah.
all these opportunities just happened because I had an interest in them and I wasn't so attached to the
Yeah.
outcome. I really believe.
And that is right there, that's so huge. And I talk about that a lot. And that's even like with this podcast, like I have no attachment to any outcome on it. Like I don't actually care about like the number of downloads or anything. Like
Yeah.
I literally don't. I would do it anyways, even if no one listened. That would be weird, but like I just love doing it. And I think that right there is what is going to take you further.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
I
that's
definitely
the
think it's
key.
the key. You have to do
Yeah.
what you like doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you, it doesn't matter if you absolutely hate it, you're going to hate it every day and it's going to come off that way. Like you're never going to
Yeah.
want
You're
to
like,
do it.
you're forcing it. And like when you're trying to force anything in life, whether it's in business or in your life, and you're like so attached to, oh, I need it to look this way. I do feel like that's a block. And
Yeah.
and I've really learned that over the last 20 years. And when
Yeah.
I allow things to flow to me that are meant for me, I find that I've gotten the most success just by doing that.
Yeah.
It's hard
Totally.
to do
It
sometimes.
is. And I also feel like it's a thing that comes with age.
Yes,
It
definitely.
does. It. definitely gets easier because I know when I was younger, there's no chance I could have been like that.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm in my late 40s now.
Yeah,
Things were hard at the beginning, and I just
yeah,
wanted things to be a certain way so badly.
yeah.
And it wasn't until I started training myself and really connecting to an idea that what is meant for me is going to come to me, that I
Mhm.
really started to like not only be more comfortable in my own body and like
Yeah,
where I was at in my life, but that things would momentum happens. And I just like really believe that. And so I want other women to know that. And it's
yeah,
kind of like my corny passion where I'm like, just let shit happen, girl. Just come on. You got to do action, but like
yeah,
be clear on what you want, but then like
yeah,
allow it to come to you.
yeah. And actually, like, think about what your goals are. That's like the big thing. It's like, don't be chasing all this other shit that's out there that doesn't
Yeah,
even like make sense for you. Because
totally.
that's the other part of it too. There's so many people that are chasing these things that they don't even want, and that's the other reason why it's not happening is because you don't even fucking want that shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Go after the things that you want. Do the things that you really enjoy, and that's where it's going to happen for you.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like when you go on Instagram or YouTube, like you see women, especially women in like their 30s or 40s or even like in their 20s who are like building businesses or lifestyles or things. And they think that people think that you're supposed to look just like them.
Hmm.
And that's one thing that I am not very aesthetic. I'm like a doer. And
Yeah,
I really think when people are like posing on Instagram all the time about like how successful their businesses are and they didn't even have to do anything to get there, it's like that's fucking bullshit. And so
that's the
that's
biggest
partly why I
scam.
started trying to help people. It's bullshit.
Yes, that's exactly 100% same with me because I literally I cannot with that because it
Yeah.
is the biggest scam of all time. Like that is not a thing. It's just
Yeah.
not a thing.
Yeah, it's not. And it's like, look how easy it is. And like they're, sipping cocktails by a pool. And like you have to do work if you want to have a successful business.
I know, and that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It's just a fact. And that's what I like to tell people. It's like that's not bad. It's just a fact. And once you like acknowledge that, we can get to work and put the things in place that you need to do. And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to mean burnout on the other side of it either. It's just figuring out the things that you actually have to do to get to where you want to go. That's it.
Yeah. And I think people think that you're not successful unless you're flying your private plane to like
Ah,
Morocco. And it's
I
like
know.
that might not be for everybody.
No.
Maybe you just want to be able to bring in an extra $5,000 a month or
Yeah.
replace their full-time income. And that's what rich is to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a way more reasonable way to look at it. And I
Yes.
think because it looks like I'm flying in my jet to Morocco while my business makes money online all by itself. Like that feels so out of reach for so many people that they're like,
Yeah.
fuck this, I'm not even gonna try. Like I'm
Well,
not successful.
and especially right now, like, come fucking on.
I know.
That's so out of touch, especially right now. I can't.
I
I
know.
cannot. It's just no. And yeah, that it's not something like I'm never gonna post that, and I don't care.
Yeah.
That is not something that's important to me. Plus, it's funny. I actually made a joke about this the one time because my brother's a pilot,
Yeah.
and I was like, you actually don't want a private jet because you have no idea everything that goes into that and how much that's actually going to cost you and like the bullshit that comes along with it. You don't actually want that.
Yeah. No, I believe him. And also he should avoid flying into Newark.
I know, right? No, he doesn't. Luckily, he does not fly to the US. He actually flies
Okay.
air ambulance here. So it's only like in
Okay,
Canada.
good.
Thank God. I
But
know, but
yeah,
like, do not fly there.
Please do not. But yeah, I mean, I think people don't even start trying to grow their business because they're like, well, I'm never going to get there. And it's like, babe, you know that you could totally swap out your shitty job income just by doing a few things. You don't have to like think that you're unsuccessful because you're not like, sitting on the beach somewhere, expecting your business just to make money. Like you can, it's
Yeah.
a lifestyle and it can be whatever you want it to be. And that's what I love so much about entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Yeah. That that's exactly it. And I do the other thing is I do question like some of the people that say that they make $1 million a month.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even know if I believe it's true. So that's the other thing. Like we have no idea. Just don't
Yeah.
even like don't go there. And I think that people fall into like one or two camps. Either they think that it's like out of reach, so they don't want to start, or they start thinking that that's just going to be easy and they
Yeah.
can do it right away. And it's like, no, that's not the
Yeah.
way this is going to work. And
No,
then
you're
they get
right.
frustrated though. And it's like, oh my God, why isn't this happening for me? Like I saw someone post,
Yeah.
it was a post on Threads like a few months ago, and she was like, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do, putting in 2 hours a day. And
In business.
yes. And I was like, okay, well, that's
Yeah.
the problem right there. And I haven't made any money. And it's been, I think she said it's been 2 months or something. And I was like, okay, so those are the two things right there. 2 hours a day, 2 months,
Right.
right there. And what are you doing for those 2 hours?
Yeah,
Also,
it's unrealistic. And I think
oh,
like it's just I want people to know like yes, you do need to do work, but there's ways that you can do that and
yeah,
not be doing all the things in your business, which is how
no,
I started my business, doing all the things all the time, burning out really quickly.
yeah,
But yeah, it's really a middle ground. And I'm a pretty straight shooter. So when I'm working with
yeah,
women who are building businesses, I'm like, no, babe, that is not it. 2 hours a day for 2 months is like that's not it.
no.
But you're also missing maybe some of these opportunities here. So
And it's like focusing on the right things too.
right.
So, if you only have a limited amount of time in a day, okay, so let's figure out what we're going to do in that time that's actually going to move the needle and make sense.
Yep.
Because if all you're doing is making Instagram reels, well, no, like
Yeah.
that's not going to do it. Sorry.
Yeah. And that's a
It's
perfect
not.
example. I hate making Instagram reels and I hate being on social media. Like I have to force myself to be consistent on there. And
Mhm.
I have an assistant who creates my social media content. And like she's like, Anna, can you make a video? And she does all the editing. And there are ways to have
Yeah.
people help you that really don't, even if you're a solopreneur, there are ways to be consistent showing up and marketing your business. If something is out of your wheelhouse, you just need to identify what some of those things are. Like what do you like doing, what is helping you as a CEO. And I think
Yeah.
women need to come into owning their business even if they've only owned it for 2 months, like I'm the
Yeah.
CEO here.
Yeah.
And so I think I wish more women did that. And now more than ever, like I just want women to make money, especially here in the US. Money is power, and
Yeah.
we are rapidly losing power. So how do we
Yeah.
fix that? And it is I'm like appalled every day here, as are many of us. And
Hmm.
if you're Canadian, like hang on, because like there's a lot more of us who are really we know.
Yep.
We know,
Oh,
and
I
like
know.
we're
I know.
trying, but like don't lump us all into that one category.
No.
Because we love Canada. And my dad is a naturalized American from Canada. And you
Yeah.
know, I'm like, well, can I go? So
I
he
know.
a lot of things going on, but I struggle also, not to get off track, but I struggle also as
No.
a veteran who's served 26 years in this country, watching what is happening after, me and so many others, we have defended our Constitution for
Yes.
a long time.
It
So
is
anyway, money is
absolutely,
power, power women need.
I know but it's true. It is
Yep.
so true. And that that's what we need to do. But even in Canada, even here, because we just had our election, and I mean, I talked a lot about it on I talk more about it on Threads than I do on Instagram. Um, but if it would have gone the other way, we very much would have had a situation like the US, and a lot of people don't see that, but it's so clear. It's so obvious. And I mean, I've called it out. We need to stay the safe haven in the Handmaid's Tale here, friends.
Yeah,
Like, fuck.
absolutely. And we rely on our, other female women, other female business owners and people who have resources
Yeah.
because we might, I mean, it's going to be a long 4 years ahead for us. And so
Yep.
we need people who have access to resources. And if you're not making any fucking money, you don't have fucking resources to help yourself or other people who might need it. And so I
Yep.
think when we talk about resisting here in the States right now, I
Yep.
think a lot of us are focused on like, well, how can I take all the resources I have, all the smarts, all the business, acumen that I've developed over 20 plus years and like make sure that I'm rock solid so that if I need to help someone get an abortion, um, access to healthcare, a
Yep.
freaking pap smear, like all of those things, I need to have funds and resources to
Yeah.
help other people. And so when we talk about what can we do, because it does feel hopeless sometimes, we have to like take moments and you can feel hopeless in the moment, but you have to like get your ass back up in the true
Yeah.
American way. You have to look at what can you do like in your immediate community and your immediate surroundings. So now more than ever, I've been like, come on, like let's grow our businesses. Like the
Yep.
time is now. And so that is like my number one passion. And even though I
Yeah.
hate showing up on social media and talking about this shit, and like there are people who are probably like, oh, I roll, but like make fucking money. Make
I
fucking money.
know. And that's exactly how I feel about it too, because if you don't, what's the other option?
Yeah. Yeah,
They're
it's not good.
like they're trying to take control of everything else. They're trying to
Yep.
take rights away from everything else. This is what we can control.
Yep.
So take control of it.
I mean, I even think about public health here and
Hmm.
I'm like it's our water. So like if you are in a red state and you have no fucking water that you can drink and you have no money because you didn't take the opportunity to build a business or to tap into resources, like that is where the spiral happens.
Hmm.
And when I look at like our current administration and the people who are in charge of things, I mean, public health, the Department of Education, I'm like, these people don't even like, uh, they're
What?
just, why? And
I
so
know.
I want my son who's 12 and I want other people's children to have access to everything. And so you
Yeah.
cannot do that without money and you cannot do that without having resources. And by building businesses, that's the fastest way for you to start to have
Hmm.
that.
And I think that this is such an important conversation because so often the conversation is around like, how do we just make money to make it flashy and like get all the fancy things? And this is the fucking conversation because this
Yeah.
is why we need money right now. It
Yeah.
is not to get, like we said, the private jet and all that. It's actually to like create stability in your life so that you can live right now. Like
Yeah, it's a matter of life and death for people. It's not about like flashy shit. It's about like if
yeah,
I need to get my son to Canada because he got sick from something here that they're not doing, like
yeah,
that, I don't want to be like, how the fuck am I going to pay to get him there? Like I want to
yeah,
be able to get him to where he needs to go. And I don't think that there's really a sense of urgency around that. And I don't
I
want to
know.
sound alarmist, but like it's a fucking red alarm right now. Like the alarm is
It
happening.
really is. And I
So I just
think,
feel very strongly about that.
well, I mean, so do I. And I don't even live in the US, but I think that there's a lot of people, there are people obviously like you who do fully understand it, who do fully see what's happening and get it, but there are so many people who don't and who are just like, "Oh no, it'll be fine." And it's like it's already not fine.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
so
fine.
far from fine. And you know, we see a lot of the things up here. I mean, I live in Saskatchewan. Alberta is trying to separate. That's just absolutely batshit fucking stupid, but whatever. And like Saskatchewan kind of leans the same way. And it's very much like if we had red states, that's what we would be, essentially, because they did vote mostly conservative. And a lot of people here think that same way. And it's insane. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell? And for me, it's hard to process because it's a thing of like empathy, human, like caring for other people. Like what is going on?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are afraid. And also, there's just been this constant feeding, this constant campaign of like, they're taking something away from you. And it's like, nobody's taking shit away from you.
No.
And I mean, we're going to start seeing it with our agriculture here when we don't have, people to work our farms. And
Yep.
I mean, it's just beginning. I
Yeah.
really do feel that way. And so it's an alarming time right now. And I think, smart, educated women who have more than two brain cells to rub together understand that
Yeah.
and are acting. So,
Exactly. And I do think that the best thing that we can do is position ourselves the best that we can and take control of what we can and like building our own businesses where we support ourselves and create our own wealth and like finances is something that is like so important. Like you
yeah.
even look at like the layoffs and all of that shit that is happening, even looking at that.
Yeah. And like I love that you create like your safe list because like
Yeah.
that's good. Those kind of resources are the first places I'm going to go when I
Yeah.
need a product or service from those. And I am really, I mean, God, I haven't walked into a Target in months and months and months and months. And it's like, right, fuck
Mhm.
you. I used to spend a lot of money here. I'm not fucking doing that anymore.
Nope.
And even a little bit at a time, like, yes, I still sometimes have to get something from Amazon because I don't know, I have a
I know.
something in my shower. But like I have drastically reduced
Oh
that
yeah.
and I'm trying to look for alternatives.
Hmm.
And I am focused and committed to only supporting businesses that align with me and my values. And like, I recently found this website, I think it's called something Square, where all these MAGA businesses self-identify. And I was just like sharing it out. I'm
Perfect.
like, this is not it. And I
Avoid.
found a company, I found a small business that I've used quite a lot for my business. And I'm like, good to know. It's a nope.
Oh
It's a
my
nope.
God.
And
It's so,
so I used to spend a lot of money there for my
yeah.
business. And like I won't anymore. And so Town Square,
That's
I think it's called or
crazy.
something. Yeah. And
Wow.
so I really want women to like have successful businesses. I don't want them to spend 10 years making all the mistakes that I made and
Hmm.
to show them like, hey, you can actually fast track this and also be around other women who are trying to do the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. I think that it's so important. So, how do you work with women right now? Tell us
Yeah.
about all that.
So I am launching a program in July which is it's I'm very excited about it because it's taking basically all my 20 years of business and putting it into a course and membership, a 12-week program where women not only connect with other women in business who are at least a year in business, um, they get access to a ton of tools, they get coaching, their subject matter experts come in, which Sarah, I need to bring you in, and
For sure.
really Yeah, and really getting people's businesses off the ground where they're able to pay themselves quickly.
Hmm.
And so it's kind of all my tools, tricks, and techniques. And it really is applicable to all the businesses that I've had and more, because at the end of the day, it's the same thing, making it repeatable. And so it's appropriate for people who own a freaking hair salon or, an online business, or maybe you are part of an MLM. Like there are these tools that we're sharing in this membership program is um is really can be applied to everyone, and it works because I know I've done it in many of my businesses. So if someone is looking for like a lot of woo, and yeah, we do talk about mindset, but we
Yeah.
talk a lot about practical tools. And me and the subject matter experts who are part of this membership show women how to make money quickly. And so that launches in June. So hopefully, if anybody, has any questions about it, I'm offering us a founder's price because this is a new project. And I really am hooking up calls because this isn't for everyone and I don't want to
Yeah.
waste anybody's time. So it's really just for people who are like, hey, look, I've been in business at least a year. I kind of need to still organize and figure out, and I'm not paying myself shit, and I want to pay myself shit like a lot more.
Yeah.
And so you can book a call with me and connect, and I'll talk you through it. And like I said, I'm a straight shooter. If I'm like, babe, no, talk to me in a year, get your stuff up and running, I will tell them that. But I have a lot of free resources as well on my Instagram, my TikTok. I'm trying to show up on TikTok. I'm
Woo.
not very good at it.
We'll
Um,
link it and then people can go check
yeah.
it out.
But I really just want to be there for women, no matter what their stage of business is, so
Yeah.
that like, we can move the needle and let's fucking do this.
Yeah. I love that. That's so good. I
So
think that it's
thank
just
you so
like,
much.
it's so needed. And it's funny that you say like not so much of the woo, but definitely the mindset. And that's where I love that. That's how I do things too, because I don't feel like mindset is like woo. I think that that's separate. I definitely work on mindset,
Yeah.
especially with clients and stuff. Like that's super important, but it is not the woo side of things.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very much
practical.
more,
It's
yeah,
like get your head fucking right
yeah,
and figure out you don't have to like meditate for 7 hours a day, babe. Like
no,
you just need to figure out in your head, what do I need to take action on today?
yeah, yeah,
And know in your
exactly.
heart that you can do this because you have support and you
Yeah,
have people around you being like, enough of that bullshit in your head. You need to do this. So refocus, reset. And that is the type of program that I needed
yeah,
20 years ago. And so that's what I'm doing now for women. And I listen, I meditate every day. I need to, so I don't lose my shit down here in the US.
yeah.
But for when it comes to building businesses, not all women are interested in that aspect of it. So I'll show
Yeah,
you where to go do that. But also, if you're prepared to come to work and really start paying yourself a real good salary, like my program is the stop for you.
yeah. Amazing. I absolutely love it.
Thank
Well, thank
you.
you so much for all of this. I feel like this was just such a great conversation.
So fun. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming on. Where can everyone find you?
Um, you can find me on TikTok. Just search Ana McKenna. You can find me on Instagram, Ana McKenna Official, or you can go to my website, anna-mckenna.com. And I have YouTube. Like, if you just Google me, like, I'll pop up, usually with some sort of unedited YouTube video.
Perfect. That's what we like. That's what we're all about. So that is perfect. I will link all the things in the show notes so that it is easy to find. And thank you very much for joining me. This was
Thanks so
great.
much for having me.
Yes. And if you liked this episode, you can give it a 5-star rating and a review. And as always, go after everything that you fucking want and be unapologetic about it.
Yes.